Blade to create an off angle. I mean, this is just brilliant, right? Because Hanbin, you know, Hanbin's monkey is probably fine, but like, why play that when you can play literally the best Junkerqueen in the world? So, Belisariya is their main tank. That's why they're not playing main tank then. Oh crap. Sorry guys, I hate to throw shade, but that guy, I literally thought he was like high diamond in that one Crow video. More of a conservative off angle on the Tracer, just because he doesn't have like the support to wrap around all the way in the backline, and because the backline is Kiriko Lucio, it's a lot less attractive to shoot the backline versus just take an angle on the DPS. Hades, thanks for the sub, mate. So he just needs to get pocket and put out constant pressure. Pocket and constant pressure. Pocket and constant pressure. I don't like fighting inside though. I understand that he's trying to like find an angle here, and it's difficult to find an angle around cart, but like it's kind of brutal here. They're gonna go in hard off of the shout. He goes to the back line off of the shout. That's good. Tries to go in the Sojourn. Oh, nice kill off of the melee there. Really, really nice. You can see with the Junkerqueen shout, when there's like a lack of Winston Sombra or whatever, it can, even like with no Ana Brig, it's like actually kind of hard as Tracer to like actually get any finishing kills. Ooh, nice. So, this doesn't surprise me that he swaps Genji here. Tracer is not bad versus this, but she's a little bit harder. Let's keep watching. Shoot, 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 shoot. My question is, he's going to wrap around right side when they build Pure Gold. Yeah, so he deepens off of the shout push. He needs to survive Kitsune Rush. Ooh, he recalls the push. He's on the back line. Yeah, he's just not able to get enough consistent pressure. Shout, Kiriko Lucio, it's just hard. It's just hard. Okay, so this is where he swaps Genji. A little bit more finishing pressure. The Blade also finds a lot of value. So basically, the reason why you like Genji here is because Genji's going to be putting out a little bit more, because you're not going for as hard flanks because of the Kiriko Lucio backline. You can kind of take the more conservative angle and put out more constant damage pressure. Tracer has the benefit to go deeper over Genji. That's what she has. But if you don't need to go deeper, then more conservative angles is something that Genji can compete on Tracer with. In addition to that, because you've got Suzu, because you have a lot of these other things, these difficult to stick targets, you don't even have a Winston, right? Or a Brig to stick, right? Then the pulse bomb really dips in value. And something like a Blade that could be enabled by Shout is a lot more attractive. In addition, Genji does pretty well when there's a hit scan on the enemy team. And even if it's just forcing her slide, that's something that Genji value is pretty solid at. And the last and probably the most important aspect is that it's Sparkle. This guy is one of the best Genjis in the world. I'd say top 2 or 3. So yeah. Why is it better for Sparkle to take angles in the DPS rather than to try to force punish Kiriko TP? Because it's for Sparkle to go for Kiriko TP, he has to go very deep on the backline, right? When he goes very deep on the backline, it's very easy for either Lucio or Kiriko to put a little bit of damage on him and force a recall or force blinks. And because his Kiriko is focusing on keeping her queen alive and not enabling the Tracer, it can be difficult to do that. Because he's not going to get a lot of help. Right? He doesn't have Brig packs. He doesn't have Harmony Orb. He doesn't even have ranged on a healing. It's a little bit trickier to do that. So for him to force something like a TP or an amp or something like that, he would need heal support that he's not likely to get as much of in this current composition. And you need the Kiriko Lucio with a Junkerqueen. That's the problem. Forces the Genji out of the angle. Notice that he's not really going in. They just committed beats, so there's no real point going in. He just needs to live. Then they use the Kitsune Rush, pushes back out. Off angles on the Queen. The deflect is interesting here. I think it's because he was a little bit low. But, or maybe it was Knife. It might have been Knife here. Kind of hard to say. Goes off of the Kiriko. Kiriko is way too aggressive, so he focuses the Kiriko down, forces her TP out. Deflect early because he's at 97 HP. A headshot kills him. He needs to get out and he dies. I think the major thing for me here is I don't feel like this deflect was necessary, and I actually don't love his target focus here. I think here I would prefer, especially in this Kitsune rush, I know he has the Kitsune rush and he can light up the Junkerqueen inside of it. I would have preferred to use this Kitsune rush to see if there was any other better targets around, whether that's Genji, Soja, Kiriko, Lucio. Any of those targets would have been better than what he does here. It's too much attention. Yes, they force Suzu out, but ultimately they're not able to actually get the punish because they just get Suzu and it's over. Christian, thanks for the sub.
Perhaps with other educational streamers or with chat. That would be so fun.
That might be fun. Yeah, it's a good suggestion. We'll see. Necros, unironically, is a really good Genji. Is he Owl level? I would say Necros is a better Genji than some Owl Genjis. Yeah, I mean, he plays in contenders at a pretty high level. I wouldn't even put him necessarily in the top 10 in Owl, but he's fine. He's good. Okay, so big takeaway here is we're going to be seeing a Junkerqueen ult pretty much just for free. They're looking to position posture aggressively. They go in really hard. They force the slide out. It looks like Prophet just kind of messes up his slide. Yeah, and they're able to get the finish really fast. He has the deflect to get out of jail free. Now, you guys remember, if you've seen any of my Genji VOD reviews, how obsessive I am about not wasting your deflect. I know so many Genjis that would just pop deflect right here just for some extra early greed and spam. But he needs to deflect because he dashes in here. If he does not get this kill, he still can work this out because he has deflect to back up again. You guys see the importance of that deflect there to allow him to actually go in. Yeah. Now he doesn't have his deflect, so even though they're up one, he has to be a little bit careful. You see how fast he backs in, or backs out. He goes in, dashes in, disengages. Dashes in, disengages. One of the biggest misconceptions you'll ever hear with people coaching Genji is that you cannot use dash unless you're able to secure a kill. Total garbage. You absolutely can use dash, even if you can't secure a kill. You just need to have an escape route, whether that's deflect, wall climb, cover, heal support, anything like that. Some nice staggers from Fuel here. I wouldn't say Shatter is mechanically insane. I would give Necros the edge mechanically from what I have seen. The blade to create an off angle. I mean, this is just brilliant, right? One of the advantages that Genji has over Tracer is Tracer can do, remember we talked about Tracer can do this, wrap around and deeper flanks. Whereas Genji can't really. Genji just kind of goes like this, right? Or he can, but it's a little bit harder. He's a little bit slower, doesn't have the self-sustain. All right? Now, flip this on its head. This is actually Genji. This is actually Tracer. Because this is not overhead. This is looking directly at it. Genji actually brings the verticality. He doesn't have the depth, but he has the verticality, right? And this is exactly what it does, right? Even if he doesn't get this kill here, he's going to right click and dash, and that's going to force maybe either a deflect or a dash or both from Prophet, which will then allow an easier blade soon enough. Because if the Genji doesn't have deflect or dash, you can actually kill the Genji with blade. Yeah, it was all a ruse. We need to be careful. No deflect, needs to be careful. So they're shouting in. Ooh, he's got to be careful. Oh, that was spicy. So this is risky. He doesn't have a lot of HP, and he doesn't have his deflect. He gets the right click cancel into the blade, goes for Krillin, chop chop. They ult in response. Chop chop chop. Mid fight blades are the best. You force some cooldowns. It's so much easier to get the blade out. He's 41 HP. Lee Sumin greets the shot, and he ends up getting the kill. And his deflect goes on cooldown. Oh no, he used his deflect. I'm an idiot. Okay, he kind of greets here. He doesn't get the healing he needs, and GG's. It's also worth noting that they're actually playing the Brig Lucio. Now, why might they be doing that, chat? Why might they be doing that? Because Brig Lucio historically was how it was played, but now they got the Kiriko Lucio. So think about that. Why would they be playing Brig instead of Kiriko? Think about it. You lose the cleanse on the Junkerqueen ult. You lose Kitsune Rush for Rally, which to be fair, Rally is pretty broken. I would say probably stronger than Kitsune Rush. I would agree. I think Brig can heal Genji easier. I think Pack is easier to heal Genji with. So is this composition better? I actually probably think this composition is slightly better, but for the Genji, I like this. He checks the Sojourn there just to make sure she doesn't have shot. This is one of the things. So I don't know if you guys saw, was it Jake coaching SVB on Genji, I think? And I actually didn't agree with Jake on a lot of things in that VOD review. But one of the things that I did agree with is that in certain circumstances, frontline deflecting can work. Because I just talked about, like, don't use a deflect, don't use a deflect, use a deflect to hold an angle. However, there are some circumstances where I actually think it can actually work. This is a great one. Shout and using his deflect to block the axe. Now, could Sparkle here have taken a different angle? Maybe played bridge side instead. Yes, maybe. But being able to deny the value out of Shout by just deflecting in front of the Queen, preventing her from getting her axe damage, her axe heal, and the lower cooldown on axe again, I think is pretty reasonable value. You're not always going to be frontlining against Genji, but if you are, the deflect value here is pretty high. I am going to do the Hanbin Junkerqueen. Yes. So maybe not the best angle. Maybe the right angle would have been better. To get the kill on the Queen, there's the rally. Rally, I think, is a little bit better than Consumer Rush. Notice how careful he's playing. He doesn't have his deflector dash here. Good. And his mechanics are just great. Like, I mean, we're skimming over this, but, like, his mechanics are really, truly great. Like, being able to hit the shurikens and all that stuff is really quite good. So they're going to get the lead here. And then in terms of old economy here, I imagine we're going to see something like an opening with a Soldier ult answered with... They literally did it at the same time, okay? Opening with Soldier ults literally at the same time. We might see either team disengaging, hiding, or maybe both teams popping beat. And then really it's going to be a mess of Junkerqueen versus Blade here. So what I want from Sparkle is Sparkle might actually mark Prophet. Because if you don't have a Blade, you can actually really mess up a Blade. Right-click and dash onto a Genji that's blading is a lot of damage. And Genjis aren't really scared of Blade if they have Deflect. So that's something you can kind of look here. It would not be considered beefed. No, Kim said. Again, this is one of those deflects where it's a frontline deflect. I think it's probably fine to just dash out here, but that deflect is almost like a defense matrix for his team to fully disengage. I don't recommend doing this kind of deflect in ranked 99% of the time, because the level of coordination for your team to disengage that isn't smart. You're just going to want to play for yourself, right? But in a team environment, it's pretty cool. They disengage. Now, what are we going to see here? Are we going to see a Junkerqueen? They're going to beat engage. Now, this is what I predict. This is what I predict. I predict that they're going to try and either Ajax the Lucio or be able to assassinate Sojourn. I imagine we are going to see a dash onto Prophet Jr. here right now. And they're going to try and one-shot him before the beat goes off. If they fail, they will still probably also force Suzu, which then enables Hanbin, as the beat HP is expiring, to then land his ultimate for free. It's a cool play. It's a cool play. Let's see what happens. Will they do it? Yeah, see it? See? See? They're trying. They're trying. They didn't get the Suzu, though. So that I don't think they got the Suzu, did they? No, they didn't. So that's a big deal. That's unfortunate for Dallas. So now... Hanbin's gonna ult, but that could get purged, and there it is. Do you guys see it? You guys see it? That's really unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate series of events from Dallas. And now this Blade from Prophet, assuming that nobody hits a shot here. I mean, I wouldn't say this is the fight's over, but Dallas is not in as good of a position. Oh! Well, that's unfortunate. At least he has an angle, though. In terms of strategy there, that went Dallas, did not go Dallas's way, but mechanics, target focus, who knows?
Now we push. Do not falter.
So coming up in a Blade here, gonna control an off angle, probably just farm whatever's available, and then look for a Blade. Nothing there. And Dallas isn't in any rush whatsoever right here. They have a massive lead. This high ground can be kind of hard to regress on. Now, this is a play. This is a play. All right, I want you guys to look very carefully here. Where is a good angle for Sp9rk1e to pressure without being isolated from his supports? Is there a good angle for Sp9rk1e to be able to pressure without being split from his supports? Top right, maybe, but not even there, right? He doesn't have very good LOS, and you can see, like, do you see the problem here? He can maybe hide in this corner, but it'd be very easy for Junkerqueen to force him out. Very easy. So there isn't really an angle here. So now you know why he just did what he just did. We already talked about how the frontline deflect in this composition isn't as bad as it is in other circumstances. Tsuku, thank you for the sub. There just isn't an angle with cover, right? So then, because of that, he's going to force his deflect to get used by walking into the middle of the enemy tank and greeting a deflect. This is what I would call a plat deflect, because there's a risk by doing this. However, the difference between Sp9rk1e and a plat is that Sp9rk1e doesn't have another option to use an angle and get his right? So he greets his deflect. And the other difference between Sp9rk1e and the plat is look at where he is when his deflect ends. Cover. So he's going to force deflect value because there isn't any other angle that he can play. And do you notice what the deflect provides? Puts pressure on the enemy team and builds a little bit of that ult charge that he needs for his play. Right? A fine play. It's a little bit cheeky, but he's not likely to need it. There's no other angle that he needs to push. And by the time he gets his deflect back, it will be time to blade. So I don't want you guys looking at that being like, oh, Sp9rk1e deflects in frontline. He deflects in frontline because there was nothing else for him to do in the circumstance. There was no angle to hold, no duel to take, and he didn't have blade yet. He's gonna wait for the deflect before he blades. Watch it. There he goes. You see that? He needs the deflect for the blade to work. Forces the slide. Forces the Suzu. Now, the only problem here is this is a really nice ultimate from Void. He doesn't actually block the axe from Void. And so he gets axe right here. And that's what chunks his HP to half and then allows Void to build ultimate. You could see there, if he'd been super, super, super S tier on his performance, he would have deflected the Carnage from Void and denied not only the ultimate, but also stayed alive. And so by the time he deflects, it's too late. The ult is gone and he dies. Now they still might win because they get a rally, but yeah. So really good play from Sp9rk1e, but not perfect. I think it's important for us to look at the good things and to look at the bad things, because we can learn from both of them. Forts Kitsune Rush. It kind of looks like Dallas just wants to take the 5v4 here. That's unfortunate. That's worst case scenario for Dallas. So they're going to try and trade here. This fight's lost. Maybe get a kill. Dallas didn't have any ultimates. I think they wanted to go in aggressively to capitalize off. I don't even know if they had a main advantage, but to try and force an ultimate. But Dynasty was too disciplined. They didn't use beat, they didn't use Sojourner, so that's unfortunate. Necros kills Prophet there? Yeah. Alright. Let's keep going. Now, they do have the Junkerqueen ult here now. So what I would expect is, again, we might see a slow play. We might even see them try to Junkerqueen, like, I'm trying to see what Dallas here. Again, this is a peeling deflect, which tells me that Sp9rk1e isn't planning on doing anything aggressive, right? What this is like, okay, I want to block any sort of damage that you guys are going to put up. Did he block Disruptor Shot, or am I smoking something? Yeah, he did. He blocked Disruptor Shot. So this is, again, a team deflect, something that you're not going to be able to do or want to do in ranked very often, but he deflects all the spam damage so this team can rotate safely. He hits Disruptor Shot as well. And he does this because, again, he knows he will not be doing anything for the next 8 seconds. Does Brig play frontline in this comp? Not really. Kind of, sort of. You cannot get carnaged. The reason Brig is played in this comp, at least before Kiriko came around, is because Brig had Bash, and no other support had that level of mobility and the ability to pocket of the DPS. There's the Sojourn ult. Their positioning is good to kite this out. They dive on the Sojourn because Junior kind of feeds here. Good shot from Edison gets him low as well. They dive the Sojourn. That's going to be a deflect. And now he needs to play his life. There's the beat. He plays his life. You see that? You see that? Super careful. Super careful. Beat is over. I have my deflect. I have my dash. That deflect buys him time to get out. Ooh, he didn't really get to cover there. He almost dies for that. So look at this again. So he goes in a little bit by himself here while everyone else is on robot. Okay? Doesn't get the kill. Deflect is okay, but he's actually not able to back out fast enough. I would have preferred a little bit of a wall climb here on the right to be able to buy him time, but he's managed to pull it out. There's the Junkerqueen ult. Kiriko forced the TP. He gets the TP out, stays on the Kiriko and gets her. Was that double jump specifically to dodge Prophet slash? Where? Maybe. Forces the shout, forces the Suzu. There it is. We're gonna see a blade soon. As soon as they kite out Kiriko rush. Can they even get Hanbin out? Yeah. See. Check this out. Check this mid-fight calling out. Right? They're gonna go in hyper aggressive right now because Prophet is in spawn 5v4. Guys, I think we can go in and force Shout and Suzu so that then this blade in a few seconds feels even easier. So that's what they're going for. They force the ultimate and they go, oh crap, we got Shout, Suzu, and ult. Get out. Everybody back out. Deflect. Hanbin goes, guys, I'm stuck. I can't get out. I can't get the cover. So then they bounce back in with, all right, screw it. Let's just go. Let's bail Hanbin out of jail. And this blade should work. Because they probably still don't have Suzu in time. And they don't. They might even full cap this. Oh, I guess they don't because there's more time in the VOD. They did lose. Who did they lose? Hanbin. They are going to commit here. He's on the off angle. He's a little bit deep. He just needs to get out. You can see how easy it is to deal with a Genji that's isolated when you have anything that with mobility. You just spam him with a couple of Lucio damage and he has to go away. He just doesn't have the self-sustain or consistent movement to avoid damage. They actually go. Oh, what a kill! They actually go for the Brig. They just push and then just chops him. Oh, he should have dashed out there. He's unable to dash out. That dash should have been immediate, I believe. I think he was waiting to bait out the Genji dash before dashing out so he could avoid the blade entirely, but ends up not working out. Is Sparkle the best Genji at the moment? I don't know. I think Pelican's a really good Genji. I think Proper's a really good Genji. I don't think we've seen enough of those two recently. I think peaks-wise, I think Sparkle has always been... Pelican was slightly better than Sparkle, but I'm honestly not sure. Deflect. He needs to be careful now. That was a little bit greedy right there without the deflect. He's baiting the attention. There's again the deflect on the front line to try and bait it. But you can see the problem with this, right? This is a plat deflect right here. But you need to be really careful about these plat deflects when the enemy team has ultimates like this. Because he tries to greed this deflect to bait attention and to buy time. But he can't do that when they have this ult. And you look, he actually almost dies for this. In fact, he might actually die for this. They shout him to keep him up, and he almost dies. Right. So he needs to be really careful. There's a lot more frontline utility you can get out of this composition to deflect, right here, right there. But again, this is really scary. He's got to be so careful. He goes in front, deflect carnage, doesn't happen. He now has to play super, super scared. And see, the problem here is now they've popped Sojourner, and now he can't comfortably dash in. I mean, he probably will anyway, but he doesn't have his deflect here. You see how much scarier this is? So I think that's definitely something that I would like to see cleaned up from Sparkle's play. He's playing quite well, but some of these frontline deflects, given the ult economy or the positioning of the fight, didn't make a whole lot of sense. But yeah, still, phenomenal Genji play. I mean, even Hanbin, we had some bones to pick when we were watching Hanbin's diva, and he's one of the best in the world. So yeah, that was great. Okay, let's move on to Hanbin Junkerqueen.
4, 3, 2.
So, Junkerqueen, it's all about disruption and then peel and then disruption and then peel. It's very similar to Diva in terms of like how you function, where you can kind of, your primary job is just to hit people before they become a problem. Finnick, thanks for the sub, mate. Whereas the shout as a peel tool is definitely something worth playing around. It's not your entire identity. Right? It's not even something you're going to be leaning into as much as your pre-pressure. So disrupt their dive. Keep that Doomfist on the back foot. Bait attention on yourself. Push squishies when you get the opportunity to. Yeah. Hanbin historically in last season was the best queen in the world in terms of cooldown usage and knife accuracy. Really the best queen in the world. Just phenomenal play. So I'm looking forward to this one.
Let's get this done.
Now, do you see the compositional swap from Sp9rk? This is saying, oh, you're going to try and anti-dive us and deny us diving you by, having a dive of your own with a Junkerqueen. Because Junkerqueen does pretty well in the Winston, right? And Hanbin can't play Winston as well. Well, screw you. We're going to go a composition that can just ignore your DPS on the flank and also beat you in the front line. So what Hanbin has to do now is Hanbin kind of has to play bait. Hanbin needs to try to use Shout to preserve his own life, or if he gets the opportunity to mid-fight, to be able to push onto and kill one of these squishies here. Obviously, Ice Block, Roll, Lamp, Shift, all those kind of things he needs to be careful about. So the drop here is understandable, but he needs to be very, very careful about Maywall here. Like right here, do you see how he's like kind of keeping his distance? He doesn't want to get too close. He doesn't want to take too much Cassidy spam, but he kind of wants to play a little bit like a flanker. Like he really doesn't want to be matching these guys toe to toe, right? At least unless that Reinhardt is low or unless that Mei doesn't have shift, then he's okay. Notice the cover usage here, right? Junkerqueen can feel very difficult. This is a pretty good swap from Sp9rk. I don't know how good they're going to be at executing it, but it's going to be hard on Hanbin here. There's the peel, shout. When they hard commit on me, I peel, shout to cover. Carnage on the Rhine because he's the only target that he can hit there. I just really think that his positioning here could be a little bit better here. So, I really feel like as soon as this shout and this Carnage was done, I would have preferred him to, I think he's relying on his Kiriko pocket too much. He needed to migrate to this left corner and shoot the Rhine shield a bit more. So a bit of a, this is not buff queen, no. This is a bit of a beef from Hanbin there, to say the least. Initial positioning was fine, initial cooldown usage was fine, but he fails to rotate to cover soon enough, and then gets punished. Could he have made it to Mega Room? No, I think where he rotated to was objectively the better position, because it allowed for spam angles and still provided cover. Maybe he got walled? No, he didn't. The reason why, by the way, chat, does anyone want to guess why he doesn't immediately go to cover here? So I'm picking at his positioning, but there's a very specific reason why he does not go to cover immediately. Watch carefully. Can you guys guess? No, LOS on his Kiriko is fine. Kiriko's right next to him. Look again. Right. It's Shy on Cassidy, and Shy knows that he wants to go to cover. So Shy is predicting shots to our left, his right, and so Hanbin is like, I really want to get to cover, but please let me go. And that's what ends up happening. The mistake isn't even now. The mistake happened 5 seconds ago, where right here, Chop, he already needs to be migrating to his left. He's too slow to do so, so then by the time Shy becomes a problem, it's too late. If he moves straight to cover, Shy's going to hit 2 headshots in a row and he's going to die. But he needed to do it sooner. That was the main thing. Once Shy looks at him at 200 HP, it's too late, yes.
Objective lost.
He missed his opportunity.
Stop the payload.
You might see a Genji swap. Oh, Reaper swap. Interesting. I would have liked a Genji swap from Sparkle, personally. Genji on this map has a lot of high grounds to play, and a shout push can really mess up their backline. I'm kind of surprised to see the Reaper swap. You forgot where I live? Can you remind me? No. I'm not going to tell you. You notice how he's playing the high grounds here. He wants to find a way to get onto those squishies. Trying to bait wall. Don't use shift. Don't use shift. These fire strikes are brutal. He's taking a lot of damage. She's looking for a wall. Oh crap, guys. Crap. Oh, so much damage. Hanbin is really taking too much damage. I'm not going to lie with you guys. It's difficult because he needs to put out a little bit of early pressure onto this front line. But also then these icicles and these headshots hit, and even the poke damage from the BAP, like it is hard. See, even there, he's trying to move to avoid, but like he's absorbing so many packs right now. It's also kind of strange that he's standing here as well. I would have expected more cover play here. I think the only reason why you might stand out in the open is there's a little bit more room for movement. But even then, you'd still want to be on the cover. It seems like he was posturing for EMP, but EMP came in kind of late. That's just a bait. Notice, by the way, he doesn't commit shout. They're just EMPing the force beat and then disengaging out. Notice, again, how many ults are being kited out. He still hasn't used shout. Force the beat. Then they respond with BAP window. Then they use shatter, but Gushui kind of hits the wall, and we still have our shift. There's the ult. Now we shift. There's the beat, but it doesn't matter. Or the blizzard. So awful the ultimate usage from Sp9rk. I mean, really bad ultimate usage from Sp9rk. But phenomenal play from playing around those ultimates. What about a high ground position here? It could work, but basically the reason why he's not high ground here is that there aren't very many good high ground spam angles that his team isn't already taking, right? So they're kind of setting up a 3-pronged crossfire here, which is fine. If they had ultimates, they might have wrapped around through stairs and directly shouted onto backline, but they didn't quite have ultimates just yet, so that would not have worked. They are giving a lot of free cart, but they had to. They didn't have any ultimates, right? And Sp9rk had a lot of ultimates, so they needed to kind of wait till to build theirs. Right, so you either need to play super slow and baity, or you go RKO crazy mode, and they chose the former, and they did it really well. Lucio Brig is just because you want the Lucio speed with the Junkerqueen, and Brig is using there to pocket your DPS. I'm not going to lie with you guys, I don't really like the Brig as much, considering you're not on Genji. I would have liked the Brig if you went Genji to pocket your Genji more on the off angles, which I think would have been a good composition. I don't think the Brig brings a lot to the table here when you're running Reaper Sombra. I don't think an armor pack is going to be able to keep a Sombra or Reaper enough alive. Basically, Fuel's comp is just double speed boost to try and avoid walls, and then look for off angles to be able to set up dives with ults. I mean, what we just saw is what Fuel's comp is really good at. Baiting, diving, taking angles, then hard committing on a squishy. I don't get the Brig with these DPS. If this was a more open map where you could play Tracer, I would understand the Brig. If they were playing Genji, okay, they're just going to 3-2-1 run them. By the way, do you notice how they just go right past the Ryan? A great kite from Sp9rk. I want to look at the execution here from Fuel. I'm kind of surprised at the hesitancy here. I would have preferred a shout and to beat first. So the shout to give the initial speed boost that we need to, because these guys need to go right now. So the shout should already be happening right now, and then Bliss beats as the shout HP is expiring. The shout will give them the speed boost to execute and the survivability to get the beat off as necessary. Opening with beat here is a huge mistake. And then do you notice that Hanbin also doesn't hard commit? Part of that is to bait the peel back from the Gushui pen, but then in that case, you really shouldn't be using your beat if you're not hard committed. Hanbin on purpose dodges pen, but it ends up giving them so much space that they end up being able to kite it out anyway. So it's a big brain play with a small brain result. now they just hard commit. Reaper Death Blossom, no cooldowns, Briggle. But honestly, not a very good result for Spark, or for Fuel. 3 ults for 0, and they lost somebody at the same time. Why Brig over Kiriko? Comfort, some sort of strategy that they understand. Maybe they really like the rally. Maybe they don't feel like they can get enough out of the Kiriko off angles here. Because somebody has to babysit the queen, so why play Kiriko if you have to babysit queen and you're not going to be winning the front line? Yeah. Hard commit, roll the dice. Monk might die. Here's the lamp, and they get the kill. Huge. This is what this composition is perfect at. If you have the off angles, you can basically dive. And the shout is what makes Hanbin a dive. Bam, bam. Spark rushes things. They don't scout, they don't peek, and they get rolled. Really nice execution from Dallas there. The boop axe energy, yeah, it was a great stage dive from Dallas there. Let's keep going. Oh, early EMP. They know they have Blizzard, they go hard. Again, do you see the off angles here? 1, 2, 3. It's a pincer. Bam. Do you notice, by the way, why does Hanbin not commit here, guys? Why does Hanbin not commit here? You see this? Jodes is fun to watch as long as it's not a mirror. Blizzard, right. Blizzard. So the shout is used, and he kind of runs. Check it. And there it is. How many ults has Dallas dodged? I mean, you got to give credit to Dallas where credit is due. I don't know if it's Hanbin, Sparkle, Edison, or all 3 of the above. I know they've missed their support line, but man, Dallas is good in the ult game. Like, they are really good in the ult game. And this goes back even to, like, last season. Like, the macro meta ult game, like, one ult for the other and baiting this. Like, it feels like everyone always knows what's going to happen. It's such a shame that this team is struggling, because at least in that, it's like, it's crazy. Now, I think Dallas will probably play this one slowly and baity like they did earlier, where they have close to Reaper ult. They are also reasonably close to both support ult, and they really only have the Junkerqueen ult. You could hard commit here into the BAP, but I don't think it's going to work, not with Lamp Shift and Beat. And then I think you just lose to either BAP, Window, or just Shatter. I think you just die. So what I would have guessed is that we're going to see how they played a few fights ago where they baited out all of those ultimates. I think we're going to see more of that. So they can build the support ults. Maybe they can force Beat. Maybe they can force Lamp. So the Junkerqueen ult works. The Death Blossom works. So they get their support ults and so on. Hanbin is great. Hanbin is a great player. Nice little flip. Trying to keep them at a distance. Obviously a little bit scary because they could C9 card a little bit. But I think it's a risk you're willing to. Now, this is cool. This is cool. Why is he ulting early, guys? Somebody tell me. Not something we'd expect, right? It's just gonna get beat or lamped, right? But why is he doing this? So they either are going. Well, there's two ways of looking at it. Okay. Number one, they're gonna go for the Ajax on the Lucio. Number one. But even if they don't get the Ajax, look at Hanbin's positioning. He's on another flank. He's on another off angle. So even if they don't get the kill here, who cares? You're not going to be able to kill me here. Look, he doesn't even use his shout. He doesn't even use his shout. Worst case scenario, Hanbin just runs back to the stairs. Sets up another off angle. Right. So I don't know. There's the shout. And then now watch him run. Watch him run. Watch him run. Wow. I guess he was just one. I guess Goucher was just one. I'm surprised that they pushed this, to be honest with you guys, into the Shatter. I think a better team shatters this and they just die. But regardless, he's able to avoid taking damage off of this beat because I think maybe this is Sparkle calling this push. But regardless, like, it was a really nice setup there. Yeah. And regardless, just flipping the map there causes enough chaos to make the fight plan work. Yeah. Really smart. And now they don't need to be scared at all. Now they can just walk in. Oh, he really messes up. He takes too much damage, gets a little bit sloppy with his positioning, and then yeah, because they're thinking about going in, so he's like, oh crap. Oh boy, not good for Dallas. Yeah, Dallas gets really sloppy with their setup. I love watching this happen, where teams that shouldn't win get really hyper focused and play perfectly, and teams that should win get a little bit sloppy with their positioning, with their setup, and then just lose. You guys see that? Got walled? Yeah, I know he got walled, but he shouldn't have been there in the first place. And they had 99% on beep. There was no off-angle setup. This is what happens, right? They have the advantage, they get a little bit sloppy, and they lose it. Yeah, what happens in ranked all the time. No way that you should lose that fight. This is just a dual combo, that's it. They focus the Mei down. Notice the first person to die here is the Mei, right? Everyone's shooting, the Sombra shooting Mei, Reaper shooting Mei, because she's the one with Blizzard, and that's it right there. And Sp9rk really doesn't even try to set up for that one. That one was like abysmally bad setup from Sp9rk. So like, what was that, a 5-man EMP? They didn't even try to hide their like Mei or anything. Three-man ult, right? Reaper and Moira faded, I think. But yeah, that was terrible. Okay. Great play from Hanbin. I think just some sloppy team play stuff. Definitely getting a little bit sloppy with cover. I think that's the biggest thing I would have to say with Hanbin. Cooldown usage has been impeccable, obviously. Mechanics have been really good as well. Team play, for the most part, has been pretty good. I think in terms of micro, just a little bit better with cover. Yeah, they should have expected EMP. It's just sloppy. Okay, they're gonna go. I'd be surprised if they stay. Maybe they stay. Okay, so on a brig backline, and you're gonna play Junkerqueen. They're gonna TP with the Symmetra to high to allow them to use speed boost and Genji to rotate on top of the backline. Cute little strategy. Cute little strategy. Risky, because Edison could just freaking die here. Because they are really far forward. I mean, look at this, guys. What the frick, man? Wait, what is going on? So they get the high ground. So Edison's gonna go. I don't know. Edison might even go Reaper, Tracer. I'm curious to see what he's gonna go. It could be a lot of heroes. Does he go back to spawn? Bro, no, he stays. They stay. They all TP. I was gonna say, I guess he wouldn't make it back to spawn, so that's a stupid statement from me. Of course he's gonna have. This is weird. So now I feel like they probably just have to wait for their next TP. They need to get on top of on a brig. This composition doesn't have enough marking to be able to control their DPS. You pretty much have to go for backline. There it is. Shout. Tries to bait sleep dart, goes for the brig. There's the nade. Yeah. It's a little stupid, I'm not gonna lie with you guys, but I guess it kind of works. Try to predict, doesn't end up working out. Yeah, I think they're gonna swap here. They're gonna stick with it? I mean, APAC is another animal, man. I mean, I don't know. There's the TP, there's the backline. They get the Ana very quickly this time. Symmetra dies again. But they keep getting trades. Yeah, surely they swap now. Okay. Okay, enough trolling, please, please. I mean, it was a cool strategy, maybe, but oh yeah, this is something else. Okay. So now, because you're on Sombra Tracer, even though the Ana Brig is a pretty lethal backline, you don't have to force rushing the backline here. You can take really aggressive off angles, focus pressure out the monkey. You can send your Kiriko on angles. You don't want to leave your Kiriko from your queen because she doesn't quite have the mobility to be isolated. But yeah. Let's see what they got. They don't have any ults here, so maybe they just walk the point. There's the pre-hack on Monkey. They're basically trying to bait, nade, and then be able to disengage as necessary. They're expecting Ana nade. But Hanbin doesn't want to walk here and shoot Winston, because if the Ana nades him here, he's pretty much dead. Definitely has to force Suzu or Shout, or maybe both. The reason why we're not taking aggressive off angles on the Winston, at least as the Queen, is because the Winston is it's too... You'd have to peek too far to be able to shoot the Winston, and also Hanbin's also vulnerable to just manual hacks. They can force point pressure. It's unfortunate he gets hacked. Here's the Kiriko ult. It's a really good one. Just clears a lot of space out on point. Still fishing for stuff on the Ana. There's the Nano. Still holding Shell. There's the beat. And he just plays really patient and just shoots people. You can't play too aggressively because there's too many things that he has to watch out for. Okay, let's see what happens. Mid-fight, Junkerqueen ult for sure, because Rally or EMP will really shut it down. So, you can have your Junkerqueen anchor on cart. That's a huge kill onto the Sombra. Really nice job from MCD taking that position early. Will they push backline? No, they'll push Monkey. They won't get the kill, but this is free cart push. Really nice knife. That's going to force jump and bubble. Gushui is out. More downtime, more cart push. And at some point here, we might see Fuel look to try to contest top. I mean, Hanbin is a little bit of a bait on cart, but if he ends up getting hack-naded, he will just die. And there it is. He gets a little bit sloppy. He's able to dodge it for the most part, and they counter EMP in response. They only catch Gushui, but Gushui doesn't die. Oh, wait, he does die. Dodge a sleep dart. There's the ult. That's going to force an early rally. And notice, by the way, look at Hanbin. Look at Hanbin. Ult. There's the rally. Peace. I'm out. I'm not playing to get naded. I'm not playing to get slept, hacked, or EMP'd. I am out of there. He is on the flank. Rally is now expired. He's now on the high ground. Let's drop. There's the knife. Get him low. Shout. Off angle. Off angle. He kind of needs to disengage here. Yeah. He needed to disengage a little bit faster than that towards his supports. There's his speed. They need to get him out. 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 Oh, Kitsune. Or the Suzu's there just in time. Wait. No, he might die here. Yeah, okay. Kind of messy. Kind of messy. Gonna rotate out top, and the rotating out top to clear flankers, which honestly, they probably should have considered doing this even before the cart was pushed up forward. I think it's probably worth losing a little bit of objective presence, but definitely now that the cart is being pushed up, Hanbin goes out and just says, buy Tracer, buy Sombra, buy Winston, you know, whatever, clears them all out, and then can also force the backline off of top right now. So, ooh, Shy might die here. Yeah, see, they see Shy. They see Shy's low. Shy messed up his TP. That's going to force a Nano. Bliss dies. They forget lose cons. They forgot that they also had to worry about the Nano. Okay. Yeah, kind of messy. I mean, it happens. You see an opportunity, you go. But unfortunately, that's going to force like everything from them to pursue this. And then the Nano in response means that, oh, yeah, it's unfortunate.
There'll be consequences.
They chase the Summer because no teleporter, Transcator. But then she gets nanoed and she says, "Bye. This is all a plan." They already use Susu for the Antony and the rotate up top. Good catch, great catch. Yep. Gonna rotate back main. Basically a bit of a fake rotation because they will give up the clear of the high ground. But maybe they think at this point in time that our old game is strong enough to where we don't need to worry as much about it. There's Brig. Let's Kitsune Rush. We're going to shout first. There's the Kitsune Rush. It's a little bit late. The beat comes in as well. They're just going to get on top of the backline. There's the Sombra kill. Very messy, very messy. Sparkle's on point, I think. Yeah. This is messy. This is messy. Oh, was that it? Did they just C9? Or whatever? They just C9? Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't see this match. Okay, it was good. I think the micro of how he's playing outside of some of the positioning stuff was good. It's kind of funny. Like we talked about this in a lot of the other Dallas VODs. The ult plans and the setups just aren't super good all the time. They look really good at points when it comes to like kiting out ultimates and stuff like that. But like understanding matchups and like exactly how to play and rotate and push and clear, you can tell like where you see flashes of old Dallas where they do some stuff really good and then some stuff really, really bad. And we saw this in the other VODs as well. I think Hanbin individually plays fine. It definitely feels bad to not be able to play Winston at a high level in these kind of circumstances, but yeah. The only reason I've been watching a lot of Dallas POVs is just because those are the ones that have been released. Yeah, I agree on the Rampage as well. But yeah.